Now, as always, I'll ask you not to so much refer to the video, but rather to trust my verbal cues and to trust yourself. So just really listen carefully to what I'm saying and try and be as much in your body as possible. Part of the benefit of the yoga practice is that we are very much aware of our interoceptive and proprioceptive being. So when I ask you to feel into your left arm or into your right leg, or whatever it might be, just know that that's actually part of the process. Yes, enjoy. So we're going to start off this evening just standing up and taking a little feel into the body. So we'll start off by just gently articulating into the joints of the neck. So moving the head really slowly and carefully through all of its possible ranges of motion. Don't forget that range of lateral flexion, so taking the ear down toward the shoulder and seeing how that's feeling for you today. Opening and closing the mouth now, feeling into the jaw, maybe giving the jaw a little bit of a wiggle. And now feeling into the shoulders with a couple of slow, gentle shrugs. Don't forget to change directions. Taking the arms and shoulders into flexion. So just slowly lifting the arms above your head. Notice when or if either of the shoulders feel a little bit sticky. And then taking the arms into extension, you might like to pick up an interlace of hands and fingers behind you so that you can add some attention into the chest. Good, and then feeling into the hamstrings with a gentle forward fold. So keeping the knees nice and soft. And as you arrive in your forward fold, just shifting the weight from heel to heel, from hip to hip, noticing how the hamstrings and indeed the lower back are feeling for you. Good, rooting down through the feet, keep the knees bent, the head and arms hanging heavy as you round up and roll up slowly. Just moving through each segment of the spine, nice and slowly. Coming to arrive to stand. Moving into our first maneuver this evening, our 3-phase maneuver. Please make a fist with your left hand and pop that underneath your chin. We're anchoring the chin down really firmly against that fist and lifting the collarbones up brightly. Taking your right hand to cradle the occiput, that little curved spot on the skull just above the hairline at the back of your head, and keeping the shoulders relaxed. Keep pushing the chin down, lifting the chest up, and press the head quite firmly against the contact of that right hand. Keeping the breath moving as you hold and hold. Keep the chin down, chest up, pressing the head against that right hand. Right, and letting the arms gently drop down to your sides. Moving into our silent scream, make a fist with your right hand this time, pop that underneath your chin. So we want to keep the right fist driving up and anchor the chin down to meet that movement so that you feel a nice even co-activation of the muscles in the neck, and holding on to that, keeping the breath moving. Open your mouth nice and wide. Good, holding that, keeping the breath moving, the right fist driving up, the chin pushing down, the mouth opening nice and wide. Good, and letting all of that go. When you're ready, we're going to do a little bit of work into the tongue. The tongue is very closely tied into the vagus nerve and has a whole host of other really close relationships with the fascia in the body. So we'll just set the eyes still on something in front of you that's not going to move. Keeping your head and your eyes really still. We'll draw 10 slow circles with your tongue along the inside of the lips, just like this. Change directions. Good. All right, moving into our next maneuver, which is one for the side body and the neck. We've done this a couple of times in previous practices, but it's a little bit complicated. We're going to take a long crooked lunge. So stepping the left leg back, let that front right knee bend, keep the back leg straight, and find a deliberate anchor point as you push into the ball of the big toe of that back left foot. And now let your right arm feel heavy as you take a bit of a side bend over to the right, taking the palm of your left hand and plugging that up against the left temple. And begin here to push your head against that left hand. It's like you're trying to turn your head, but the contact of that left hand is preventing the head from moving. Keep the weight anchored into the ball of the big toe of the back foot. And if you can manage it, we'll just let the right arm begin to create some really gentle circles. No muscular effort, just let that right arm create some really relaxed circles, keeping the weight into the ball of the big toe of the back foot, the head pushing against the left hand. Change directions with your arm circles, keeping the breath moving, head pushing against the hand, weight into the big toe of that back foot. And when you're ready, we'll gently release all of those components and come into that sequence on the other side. So we're stepping the right foot back now. Front left knee is bent as we push weight into the ball of the big toe of the back foot. Gee, that was a mouthful. And now let your left arm feel heavy, finding a little bit of a side bend and plugging the palm of the right hand up against the right temple. Push your head against the right hand like you're trying to turn the head. The right hand's just catching that movement and maybe creating those loose, relaxed, pendulous circles with the left arm. Weight into the ball of the big toe of the back foot, head pushing against the hand, the left arm tracing those loose, relaxed circles, and now change directions of the circles in the left arm. Keep pushing into the big toe of the back foot, pressing the head against the right hand. Good. And letting all of that go gently. Good. One more little fascial maneuver, and this one's for the entire back line as well as the head and the neck. And whilst we are in hay fever season here in the Southern Hemisphere, it's really important to keep the channels from the collarbones up to the head nice and clear. This particular maneuver is very useful. We're going to interlace the fingers at the back of the head, and keeping the shoulders relaxed, begin to push your head against your hands. And it's just enough to create a little conversation into the fascia from the base of the skull down the back of the neck. Keep pushing the head against the hands. And if you feel comfortable, you can start to tip your chin up toward the ceiling. Maintain that pressure, that push of the head against the hands. And of course, keep the breath moving. Good. We'll bring the head gently back to center, release the push of the head, and now keep the chest lifting up high as you drop the chin down low toward the collarbones and tuck the elbows in close towards one another, just allowing the shoulder blades to separate so you've rounded out through the upper back, and press the head against the hands. Just enough to have a little conversation with the fascia at the base of the skull, at the back of the neck, and maybe even between the shoulder blades. And if this feels like enough, stay here. But if you'd like to take it further, you can take a deep bend in the knees, dropping down into as much of a squat as you like. Keep the chin dropping down, the elbows tucking in, the head pushing against the hands, the breath moving, creating a lovely tucked, rounded shape Let the tailbone drop down toward the floor. And now release the fingertips toward the earth. Root down through the feet and round up and roll up very slowly, taking your time, as though your head and your arms are weighted and heavy. Nice, slow transition back to standing. Good. And when you're ready, we'll step the feet together, just coming to arrive at the top of your mat, turning the palms of the hands to face forward and inviting the shoulder blades to gently slide towards one another behind you. It's just enough to feel that the muscles on either side of the spine are switched on. Bring the tongue to rest up against the roof of the mouth and come to meet your breath. You might like to take a few rounds of your reset breath pattern here. 2 nice big inhales through the nose. A slow exhale through the mouth. And again, 2 inhales through the nose. Let it out slowly through the mouth. Once more, inhale through the nose once, twice, exhale through the mouth slowly. And now begin to move the breath slowly and smoothly, encouraging the rib cage and the belly to move freely, and inviting yourself to really arrive in this moment, giving yourself permission to let go of everything else. Enjoy your practice, my friends. Let's exhale together slowly. As you inhale, we'll pick up the arms, palms meet above the head and take the eye gaze up. Hands and fingers interlace above the head. Exhale, press the palms skyward, looking up to the hands. As you inhale, take the hips forward and lean the heart back. Exhale, drop the chin to the chest, press the palms forward, let the shoulder blades separate and the upper back round out. Releasing the arms gently down to rest alongside the torso, picking up an interlace of thumbs behind you, squeezing the shoulder blades together, puffing out the chest wide as you draw those shoulder blades together, lifting the arms away from the back body. Keeping the heart lifted, and just let the chin drop down slightly. Lots of attention into the chest and the front of the shoulders. Release the hook of your thumbs. Arms rest alongside the body. Inhale again, pick the arms up, palms meet above the head. As you exhale, we'll fold forward slowly, coming to arrive in Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Just letting the knees bend as much as you like. And as you arrive, tuck the chin, encourage the neck to feel lovely and long. Fingertips to shin bones. As you inhale, lift the heart halfway. And we'll refold on the exhale, bring the fingertips to rest on the earth, stepping the left foot slowly all the way to the back of the mat. As that left foot arrives, bring the knee down to rest against the earth. You might like to bring a blanket to support that knee joint if you need it, and lift the chest and shoulders to stack above the hips. We're bringing the right hand to land on the sacrum, tucking that elbow back behind you so you feel the right side of the chest is wide. And on an inhale, pick up the left arm, reaching it up and overhead as you drop your eye gaze down toward the right shoulder. A nice heavy footprint in that front right foot to secure your balance. And leaning back, bringing attention into the front of the left hip. On an inhale, left hand lands on the floor right underneath the left shoulder, taking the right hand up toward the ceiling, arriving in an easy twist. If you'd like something a bit spicier, pick the back knee up off the floor, open the right knee wide, maybe rolling onto the outer edge of the right foot, and lean the chest back, away from the bent knee. Keep the eye gaze up toward the sky. Inhale, bring the right hand to find the floor. And as you exhale, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Bringing both knees to the earth, untuck the toes and press the tops of the feet down deliberately. We'll exhale to downward facing cat, tuck the chin and round the spine. Inhale, arch the spine and take the eye gaze up. Exhale, chin tucks, spine rounds, downward facing cat. Inhale, spine arches, looking up. One last exhale, tuck the chin, round out the spine. We'll tuck the toes here, and as you exhale, lift the hips high, coming to arrive in downward facing dog. And of course, if you're craving something a little bit softer, then just use your child's pose as your next best alternative. Maybe walking the heels out slowly, coaxing a little bit of life and length into the backs of the legs. Coming to settle in your down dog here, thinking about lifting your eye gaze just up beyond the knees so the back of the skull feels spacious and light. As you inhale, rise high to tiptoes. Exhale, knees bend deep and look forward. Keep the tailbone tipping up high toward the ceiling. On the empty breath, we'll step right foot, then left foot back to the top of the mat. Arriving fingertips to shin bones, inhale, lift the collarbones to flat back and refold on the exhalation. Inhale, rise to stand slowly. Can you time it so that the palms meet one another right at the apex of the inhale, gazing up? Pick up an interlace of hands and fingers and exhale, press the palms skyward. Keep the eye gaze up. Inhale, take the hips forward, lean the heart back. Exhale, drop the chin to the chest, press the palms forward. Let the shoulder blades slide away from one another and really round out through the upper back. Releasing the arms gently down toward the side body and pick up the hook of your thumbs behind you. Try and hook the opposite thumb on top. So whichever thumb hooks on top naturally, just switch that over. Drawing the shoulder blades together, lifting the arms away from the back body, keeping the collarbones lifted, the chin dropping down. Gently releasing the hook of the thumbs. Inhale, take the arms back above the head, palms meet, eyes gaze up. And exhale, fold forward slowly, coming to arrive in your standing forward bend. Fingers to shins, inhale, lifting the heart halfway. Refold on the exhale, let the fingertips rest on the earth, and this time we'll step the right foot calmly all the way to the back of the mat. Bringing that right knee down to land on the earth, lifting the chest and shoulders to stack above the hips. The left hand lands on the sacrum. Tuck that elbow back, left side of the chest feeling wide, and as you inhale, picking up that right arm slowly, reaching it up and overhead. Just let your eye gaze drop down toward the left shoulder. A decisive, deliberate reach through that lifted right arm and a nice heavy footprint in that front left foot. As you inhale, we'll windmill the hands to land, or the right hand rather, to land right underneath the shoulder. Pick that right knee up off the earth and take the left arm spiraling to the sky in our easy twist. Little tuck of the chin so that as you look up, the neck feels long and neutral. Maybe taking that left knee wide, rolling onto the outer edge of the left foot. Keep leaning the chest away from the bent knee. Inhale, left hand finds the floor. And as you exhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat. We'll bring both knees to find the earth now. Untuck the toes, tops of the feet, press down. Inhale to upward facing cat, eyes up. Exhale, downward facing cat, rounding out through the spine. Again, inhale, spine arches, lifting the eye gaze. Exhale, tuck the chin and round the spine. Again, inhale, arch the spine, looking up. Tuck the toes. Exhale, lifting the hips high, arriving in downward facing dog. Child's pose if you prefer. As you arrive, just elongating through the neck, encourage the crown of the head to feel heavy, and maybe just check the position of your tongue, keeping the tongue resting against the roof of the mouth. As you inhale, lift high to tip toes. Exhale, both knees bend. This time we're delivering the knees all the way down to the earth, coming to arrive back on all fours. And as you arrive on all fours, just untuck the toes, keeping the tops of the feet plugging down. Reach your arms and torso forward, coming to arrive in puppy pose or melting heart. Start with your chin tucked and let the forehead and the bridge of the nose come to rest against the earth. If your forehead feels like it's a million miles away from the floor, just grab your yoga block or a cushion, pop that between your forehead and the earth. Think about keeping the fingers spread, the fingerprints and palms plugging down, the tops of the feet plugging down, and let the armpits and the chest feel wide. If you have any vulnerabilities in your neck, stay here. Otherwise, you might like to pick up your chin and bring the chin to land on the floor, looking toward the top of the mat. Let the sternum drop down. Let the armpits feel wide. And when you're ready, we'll snake our way down onto our belly, coming to arrive in Sphinx pose. And as you arrive, just gazing down, making sure that the elbows are directly beneath the shoulders, reaffirming that lovely spread of the fingers and the plug down of the fingerprints. Keep the tops of the feet pressing down, the pubic bone pressing down gently. And now create a feeling as though you are attempting to drag the elbows and the hip bones towards each other. Just looking down at the space between the thumbs and keeping some buoyancy, some lift in the base of the skull. When you're ready, gently release all the way down toward the floor. We'll slide the hands back alongside the rib cage. As you inhale, make your way to all fours. Tuck the toes. Exhaling, drop the sit bones down onto the heels. And we're coming into our wrist and forearm release, rising up onto the end knuckles of the middle three fingers as you drive the wrist bones forward and sink the sit bones back. Allow the forehead and the chest to drop down low. This is a relatively easy shape, so you can add some spice and some nuance here by feeling as though all 10 toes are plugged into the sticky mat and creating a feeling as though you are attempting to drive the balls of the feet toward the back of the mat as you send the wrist bones forward. Let the rib cage and the skull drop down. Good. And when you're ready, just walk your hands back in towards you, coming to arrive in a high kneeling position. We're working into Parigasana now, gate pose, taking the right leg out just in line with the left knee. So as you glance down, just making sure that the inside of the right ankle is in line with the left knee. Right hand comes to rest on the hip as we take the left hand to cradle the occiput, tucking that left elbow in toward the temple. As you inhale, pick that left elbow up, feeling nice and long in the left side waist, and exhale, turn the chest toward the ceiling first and just be here for a moment, lifting the left elbow high, spiraling the heart toward the ceiling. If this feels like enough, please stay here. Otherwise, you might like to just slide that right hand slowly down along the outside of the right leg toward the heel, toward the ankle, but try not to let the chest dip forward. Keep prioritizing lifting that left elbow up toward the ceiling. Let the next inhale just pick up the left lung, bringing you up and out of the shape. And as you exhale, bring your left hand down onto the floor. Watch that left hand land just under the shoulder head and float the right leg up, bending the knee, picking up the outside of the foot or the ankle and kicking the right foot deliberately against that right hand. Stay looking down at that left hand, leaning the chest back, kicking the right foot against the right hand. Good. And now when you're ready, gently releasing, take the right arm up, the right leg long. Coming out the way we moved into it, land the right foot, arms out in line with the shoulders, and then bring the legs together. Taking our Parigasana now onto the other side, left leg out long. Gazing down, left ankle more or less in line with the right knee, left hand on the hip as you take the right hand just to gently cradle the base of the skull. Hug that right elbow in. Inhale, right elbow lifts nice and high, long through that side body, and then spin the chest toward the ceiling. Hold here and breathe. You might like to push your head just gently against that right hand so that you're active, but not uptight in the neck. And if you like, slowly sliding that left hand down the outside of the leg toward the ankle. But keep feeling as though your intention is really to spin the chest toward the sky. Long, smooth, steady breaths. Allow the next inhale to bring you gently up and out from that side bend. Exhale, right hand lands on the floor right underneath the shoulder. Watch it land and keep the eye gaze down to the right hand now as you float the left leg up. Bend the knee and take hold of the outside of the foot or the outside of the ankle. Kicking that left foot against the contact of the hand and leaning the chest back. Smooth, steady breaths. Coming out the way we moved into it. So stretching that left leg out long, taking the left arm up, land the left foot down to the mat, arms out in line with the shoulders, and then bring the knees together. Coming to land now in Dandasana, staff pose, with the legs just out in front of you. When you're ready, we'll take a bend in the left knee and externally rotate that left hip. So just opening out that left hip like a gate. If the left knee is lifted up away from the floor, do yourself a favor, grab one of your blocks and pop it underneath that left knee to help support the lower back. Keeping the toes of the right foot pointing straight up toward the ceiling. We'll begin with some more lateral flexion, just turning the sternum out to line up with the left knee, bringing the back of the right hand to anchor itself against the inside of the right leg. Inhale, we'll take the left arm out to the side, reach the arm up next to the cheekbone. Once more, feel as though you're twisting your heart toward the ceiling, and then slide that right hand slowly down along the inside of the leg. Just moving as much into the shape as you can whilst maintaining a nice, smooth and subtle breath. Notice as you press the back of that right hand against the inside of the leg, that's giving you a little bit of leverage and an anchor point to help you keep the chest turning toward the ceiling. On the next inhale, let the left lung inflate to lift you gently out of that side bend. And then exhale, we're turning the sternum now to face the big toe of the right foot. Coming into our Janu Shirshasana, inhale, long spine, and exhale, fold forward. Don't try to reach too much for that right foot. Instead, this evening, take more of a restorative approach, just letting the forearms, elbows, and hands come to rest on the floor. The tendency on this side will be for the left shoulder to want to ride up toward the ceiling. So can you prioritize really wrapping the left rib cage down toward the earth, feeling a nice even contact between both of the hands and the arms toward the earth, softening and spreading the lower back, the back of the sacrum. And now that we've been here for a few breaths, maybe just letting everything drop down over that right leg. Surrender the forehead toward the shin bone. Find a subtle wrap of the left rib cage down toward the earth. Lots of breath and attention into the back of the ribs. On an inhale, we'll lift up just halfway. And as you exhale, come to sit tall. Taking a little break in between sides to give the shoulders some attention, bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees come up quite close to the shoulders. So it's a fairly closed position. We're bringing the right hand all the way to the outside of the left knee. The left hand travels all the way to the outside of the right knee. And now with that nice firm grasp of the hands against the legs, begin to take the knees wide as you drop the forehead and the chin just down to rest near the top arm. Let the shoulder blades separate. Let the upper back round out and keep driving the knees down to open the back of the shoulders. If you feel okay here, you might even let the tailbone just curl under and send the rib cage really spreading toward the wall behind you. Gently release. We had the right arm underneath, so we'll change that up in a moment on the other side. But for now, just find your Dandasana staff pose. And now when you're ready, we'll bend the left knee, the right knee, externally rotating that right leg. And again, if that knee is floating up away from the floor, just pop a block underneath that leg for support. Start by just turning the collarbones out toward that bent knee, bringing the back of the left hand to anchor itself against the inside of the leg. Inhale, lifting the right arm up, bring the bicep over to meet the cheekbone, keeping the sternum spinning toward the ceiling, and sliding that left hand along the inside of the leg. Lovely wide side body on the right hand side. Think about keeping that lifted right arm quite expressive, really reach through, out through the nail beds. The back of the left hand anchors against the inseam of the leg to create that leverage and a little bit of rotation. On an inhale, let the right lung inflate to lift you gently up. And exhaling, turn your sternum and collarbones out to face the left foot. Begin with an inhale, pick up the ribs long in the lower back and fold forward gently on the exhale. On this side, it will be the right arm and the right shoulder that want to sort of travel up toward the ceiling. So keep that right elbow dropping down. Find a subtle wrap of the right rib cage down toward the mat. Good opportunity here to check your tongue posture and to smooth out the breath. Now that we've been here for a few breaths, you might feel called to really surrender and soften the skull down toward the left shin. Softening through the lower back, letting the back of the sacrum spread. On an inhale, lifting up just halfway. As you exhale, coming to sit tall. Good. Once more, bringing the soles of the feet together. And this time we'll take the left arm across toward the outside of the right knee first, then cross the right arm over the top of the left, just so we're working into the shoulders evenly. Again, make sure that you've got good purchase of the hands on either side of the knees, and then begin to take the knees wide. Let the shoulder blades separate and just allow your chin to gently rest against that top arm. The shoulder blades slide away from each other, the upper back really rounded, maybe even letting the tailbone curl under, feeling a generous spread through the back of the rib cage, and continue to push the knees toward the earth. When you're ready, gently release. Good. Taking the legs out long, setting up for our twisting sequence with lots of ventral vagal resets in here as well. From Dandasana, please bend your right knee. We'll bring the right foot over to the left side of the left leg. Now it's your choice this evening as to whether you leave that left leg out in front of you or maybe bend the knee, hugging the heel in toward the right hip, but please plug that right sit bone back down in toward the mat. We're starting open-bellied, just hooking the right elbow to the inside of the right knee. Fingertips of the left hand come to land very lightly on the floor behind you. So try not to lean into the support of that left hand. As you inhale, pick up the collarbones, sit tall. And as you exhale, we're turning open-bellied to the left, just letting the eye gaze and even the chin just angle slightly down toward the left shoulder. Exploring the relationship between your right elbow and your right knee. And maybe noticing as you press those points against one another, that just creates that lovely activation and internal leverage to carry you into the twist. As you inhale, gently release the head. And as you exhale, unhook that right elbow. We're going to swing that left arm around now just to pick up the right shin in the crook of the elbow and hug the knee in towards you. Fingertips of the right hand now come to rest gently on the floor behind you. Inhale to sit tall and exhale to turn, this time to the right, letting the eye gaze drop down toward that right shoulder. Checking the position of your tongue, smoothing out and deepening the breath. Now that we've been here for a few rounds of breath, you might like to inhale and sit a little bit taller. And as you exhale, take the rotation a fraction further, just a little bit deeper into the twist. And keeping this shape exactly as it is, please bring just your head back to center. And now turn your head a few degrees to the left. We're not looking for a muscular sensation. We're just finding a position where the chest and shoulders are turning to the right and the head and neck are turning to the left. And now keeping the head really still, lifting your eye gaze up and to the right, finding a landmark in the room for your eyes to land on gently, so no strain or tension. Just holding the eyes there. Breathing slowly. If your eyes are protesting, if they keep coming out of focus, just gently invite them back to rest on that landmark. Chest and shoulders turning to the right, the head turning to the left, the eye gaze up and to the right. And gently release the eyes, release the head, release the chest and shoulders, and reset, taking the legs out long into Dandasana, staff pose, bringing that sequence to the other side. Now, please bend your left knee, transplant your left foot over to the right side of the right leg, and either leave that right leg out long or maybe bend the knee. And if you're bending that knee, just bringing the left sit bone back down to rest against the earth. Open belly to begin with. Hook the left elbow to the inside of the left knee. Fingertips of the right hand rest gently on the floor behind you. As you inhale, pick up the collarbone, sit tall. And as you exhale, we're turning to the right, letting the eye gaze and even the chin just angle slightly down toward the right shoulder. And on this side, we're exploring that relationship between left elbow and left knee as you press those points against each other to gently leverage yourself into rotation. Inhale to release the head. Exhale to unhook the elbow, bringing the right arm around to pick up that left shin in the crook of the elbow and bringing the fingertips of the left hand to land gently on the earth behind you. Inhale to sit tall and exhale, we're turning to the left, looking slightly down toward the left shoulder, finding a slow, smooth breath. Invite yourself on an inhale to sit a little bit taller. As you exhale, to move a little bit further into the twist. And keeping everything about this shape as it is, release just the head back to center, and then turn your head a few degrees to the right. Remember, we're not looking for any muscular sensation or strain, just a difference between the direction that the chest is turning and where the head and the neck are angled. And now lift your eye gaze up and to the left. Find a landmark in the room for your eyes to rest on. Keep them gently focused there. And move your attention into the breath. Chest and shoulders turning to the left. The head turning to the right. The eye gaze looking up and to the left. Releasing your eyes, releasing the head, and releasing the chest and shoulders. And resetting through the hips now, knees bent, feet flat on the floor, and just taking a couple of gentle windscreen wipes of the knees from side to side. Good. Setting up for a little bit of breath work now, just to cap things off nicely for us. One of the issues when we're sitting on the floor to practice is that invariably for most of us, the knees are sort of hitched up because our hips are tight. So please do yourself a massive favor and take not one, but 2 blocks if you have them, and just stack them next to one another like this. So you've got an adult-sized platform to now sit up on. Angle the sit bones back so there's a little bit of anterior or forward tilt in the pelvis, and come to arrive in as much of a comfortable position as you can. If you prefer to sit in a kneeling position or even sit up on a chair for this part of your practice, then that is absolutely your prerogative. And as you come to land, you might like to close down your eyes, or if that makes you feel at all uncomfortable, you can leave the eyelids just down at half mast. And regardless of what you've chosen to do with your eyelids, just send the eye gaze gently down in the direction of the nose. And as we use the muscles of our eyes to send the eye gaze toward the nose, we disengage the neurocircuitry that is involved in persistent, anxious, looping thoughts. And we activate the circuitry that brings us into a relaxed, present moment awareness. We'll begin by taking a few rounds of our reset breath. 2 inhalations through the nose. 1, 2, out through the mouth slowly. And again, 1 inhale, another one. Exhale slowly through the mouth. 1 more time. Inhale once. Inhale twice. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Bringing your tongue to rest up against the roof of the mouth now, allowing your jaw to soften and come to meet the breath. Just moving that breath slowly and smoothly through the nostrils and encouraging a very free and full movement in the rib cage. Let the belly be nice and relaxed. Beginning now to invoke our ujjayi technique with a gentle hug of the windpipe toward the back of the throat. It's exactly the same feeling that we need to create when we're fogging up a pane of glass, but keep the breath moving through the nose. And allow that very subtle resistance in your airway to lend your breath some texture and tone. Listening intently to the sound that the breath takes on. And inviting yourself to create a sound and a sensation in the breath that is very smooth and subtle. This evening we'll be working with a ratio, a pattern of breath that is very stabilizing and calming, a lovely grounding rhythm. Begin with an exhale. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Letting that go now. Allow your breath to return to its natural, quiet state. And notice how you have arrived here. How is the breath moving? How is the body feeling? When you are ready, very calmly and carefully, please make your way onto your back for your Shavasana. Feel free to prop yourself however you enjoy, maybe with a cushion or bolster beneath the knees. Perhaps using an eye bag over the eyes. And as you come to rest on your back, just arranging yourself so that the palms of the hands are facing the ceiling, and allow your toes to just fall away from the heels. Noticing the weight of your body resting against the earth, and allowing your bones to feel heavy. Let the flesh feel soft and wide. Give yourself permission to sink and to surrender into the support of the earth beneath you. And allow any sounds that arise to simply be without reaction, without judgment. You might become aware of the sensation of your clothing against your skin. The contact of the air against your exposed skin. Allow all muscular effort to dissolve. Grant yourself permission to digest, to assimilate your practice. Allow your breath to deepen slightly now. And gently wiggle the fingers and toes. Rotating into the wrists and ankles. Taking a lovely yawn and a stretch. And gently swallowing to lubricate your throat. And taking your time now to roll onto your favorite side. We normally roll to the right hand side, but if you have low blood pressure, then roll to the left. And allow gravity to embrace the heavy bones in the legs, in the pelvis, as you carefully curl your way to an upright seat. As you arrive in your upright seat, remaining for just a moment longer with your eyes closed, as you notice how you have arrived here at the end of your practice, at the end of your day. Floating the palms to meet one another in front of your heart, or if you prefer, just land one hand on your chest and the other against your belly.